All right, buddy. That is our sign that we're live on the air. Well, we're not live. We're live recording, I guess. But FP Performance in the house, ladies and gents. I wish we had a little bit of an audience noise where we could like cheer and clap and do all that stuff. But
thanks for having me, sir.
Oh, brother, 100%. Looking forward to this little combo, especially with everything that's been going on with you. But let's save that, right? We'll work out to all that. Yeah, so I was kind of mentioning to you before we started recording, ripping hot here today. Like, we're starting to get a taste of the real deal of like Tennessee summer. Yeah, like we're tickling 100 today.
Oh yeah, that'll be here tomorrow. Like, it's hot.
Oh yeah, you're getting her too.
Yeah, it was 94 today.
Okay. Yeah, you're getting her.
Super humid. Disgusting.
See, and for me, because like I've been asking around, because perspective is everything in this, right? So I'm like, okay, go into Advanced Auto Parts. So I got the locals in and amongst me, right? And I'm like, is this what everyone says is like screaming hot? Like, I'm just trying to prepare myself for what's ahead, right?
Yeah.
Because my gauge is working on the shitbox Fox in like 108 with like 90% humidity, right? So like that is like face of the sun ridiculous. Whereas this is crowding that, but I mean, that's my high bar. Like, you know how, like, it's the old saying, the hardest thing you've ever done is the hardest thing you've ever done. Well, that's the highest temp I've ever seen. And worked on a car in it. Now, it wasn't super enjoyable, but you know, that's hot. And so I'm going like, is this what everyone's referring to as like ripping hot, or are we getting hotter than this? And they said this is about it. They'll get some like out there days where you might just everybody stays inside, but it's not, you know, face of the sun. This is kind of the heat where everybody starts bitching.
Well, that's good at least.
Totally,
I think
right?
The worst that I've ever experienced is I was in Phoenix in July. And I remember getting off the plane, taking an Uber to my hotel, and I figured, you know what? I'll walk around, get a bite to eat somewhere. You're talking about Phoenix. It's a city, right?
Sure.
No one on the sidewalks. No one's walking.
They're hiding.
There's nobody. So I pop into a bar to get something to eat, and I'm like, "What's the deal?" They're like, "Oh, you've never been to Arizona before, have you?" So no, it's like it's too hot. Nobody goes outside.
Really?
It was crazy.
Because yeah, I've been to Phoenix a couple of times, Scottsdale area and stuff, and I remember going to an outdoor mall, and even though it was outdoor, the like area, you know, like the walkway between stores was covered. But it was just kind of like a sunshade covered. And I'm going, I mean, it doesn't really defeat the purpose of an outdoor mall, but it's bordering on that. And then you get in one of those warm days, you're like, oh, gotcha. Like, this is literally like just built-in sunscreen.
Yeah. And I think when I was there, it was like 105. And I asked my cab driver when I was going back to the airport, I was like, is this as bad as it gets? He's like, oh, no. He's like, August, it'll be 115. Easy.
Oh,
that's brutal.
I mean, I guess the saving grace though is like little to no humidity, right? It's just screaming hot.
You know, they say that, but when I was there, I was like, no, it's still bad. It's like you're literally sitting inside an oven, like in your kitchen. Like that's the constant heat that you feel.
Yeah, that's kind of how I defined it to the family when I got home from Texas. Is I said the parallel that I draw with it is, you know, having a bunch of buddies over, flashing up the barbecue and going, oh shit, I forgot to clean it after last time. So I'm going to wind the heat wide open, let it burn everything off. And then you go in for a beer, start telling jokes. You forget about the barbecue, right? And you walk out, you walk out to a welder, right? Yeah. But you got to open the lid to kind of cool it down. And when you get hit with that heat, I'm like, that's what it's like walking outside of your house in 110-ish, 108, 110 heat of Texas. Just boom,
exactly.
It hits.
You couldn't have said it better. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. man, there was a thing of me, like I'm recording myself walking out of Chris's house, and I remember the look on my face, like just going like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's beyond belief, you know?
Why do you live here again?
Yeah. Well, and another one too, going on and on about heat here, but like him and his gal Britt, I think they like operating it more on the warm end of the spectrum. Whereas I think most people like to, unless, I don't know, maybe it's got something to do with them being in Dubai or them just liking the heat, whatever it is. But I remember going by their thermostat at one point in time, and they had the house set at like 85. And I remember going like, that's awful warm. But it feels cool in the house because it's so fucking hot outside.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The contrast of a 30-degree swing makes you feel like you're standing in a deep freeze. I mean, once you get used to it, you're going, well, it is maybe a little warm in here. But anyway, yeah, I remember going like, fuck, this is crazy.
This is turning into a meteorologist podcast right now.
It's true. Well, and you know, buddy, I guess before we get too far into things, I'll give everybody just a quick little high level on the fact that you're only hearing two voices tonight. Chris is going to be back next week, coming in for a little kind of flyby, and he's going to fill us in on some of the details as to what he's got going on here in the world of the Infamous project. But yeah, for tonight, you just got me and Greg chopping it up and having some beers.
Hell yeah.
Oh, actually, as far as housekeeping is concerned, I should clear the air now that we're 6 minutes in. But we went through a little name change, ladies and gents, and I'm sure most people are still kind of scratching their heads over it or whatever. Yeah, you might have even texted me, buddy. I had quite a few, like, what the hell is going on here, right? Did something change overnight? Did you get bought out? What went on, right? So anyway, the long and short of that is we've been kicking around the idea for some time of a name change. And most of the reason being is, well, this thing was quite honestly started just on a couple of beer and a bad idea, really. It wasn't ever supposed to be something that, I guess, not that, you know, we're so far away from being, you know, even in the top 100 podcasts of the world. It's not even funny, but it's also gotten to a point where it's gotten a bit of its own personality, and, you know, it's got some folks that like listening to it and whatever. So it's now kind of got its own thing going on, right? Its own little zip code, if you will. So we got thinking, we're like, man, we kind of screwed up. Didn't screw up, but like the name is somewhat limiting, if you will. Now, sure, the cars over our shoulders and all the cars we love, like none of that changes whatsoever. But we were like, I wonder if we're limiting ourselves to, say you got some Joe Blow that's just scrolling through podcasts and sees, you know, oh, kind of a catchy title, rolling in my 5.0, like, I drive a Miata. Like, I you know what I mean? I can't really warm up to the idea of the whole 5.0 thing, or, that's stupid, moving on. So we're like, well, how do we generic that up a little bit and still offer the exact same thing, like nothing changes? And quite honestly, it probably explains things a little bit more because we're drinking beer and we're sitting in the shop, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess further to that too, after I got thinking about this name, I was like, you know, some of the best times that I've had, or at least the best conversations that I've had in my life, typically were in a garage or a shop, you know? It's kind of the guys like leather couch shrink room, you know? Everybody lets their hair down. Everybody just come as you are and tell some war stories. If we talk cars, if we talk business, if we talk self-help, whatever, it's all under the roof of the shop. And so, yeah, that's kind of where Shop Beers came from.
Love it.
Yeah.
No, it's true, though. I mean, I've been a listener as well for quite some time now, and I love the fact that it is so much more broad than people think. You know, you get into something, you may start in the topic of Fox bodies, but then who knows where it'll take from there. And I mean, I think that you, Chris, and a lot of your guests have been incredibly insightful on so many different topics. So great idea. I'm all for it.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, because funny enough, like from a feedback perspective, and actually, even if we don't get like the physical reach out style feedback, like just if you look at the back end of the podcast and where your listens come from and stuff, it never fails. It's the ones that are kind of these heartfelt, like, I don't want to say advice because we're not necessarily trying to give advice, but just telling your own story, and maybe there's something someone else can take away from that. Those are the ones that always do the best. So I don't know.
I think like you said, they're relatable to so many people. It's those things that all of us kind of get challenged with in life that it's great to hear other people's perspectives on it.
Buddy, I mean, I think that's kind of the new way of like almost reading a book, but it's a little bit more reality based and live, if you will, is just hearing other people's perspectives on things, which, I mean, that's a whole thing in itself, right? We're kind of in a world that operates around headlines and whatever else, right? And God forbid you miss the headline, then it's up to you to make up what you think happened, right? But I don't know. Yeah, I quite enjoy it. In long form discussions like this, I think you really start to get a feeling for like how a person thinks. You hear the other thing too is like you get all the emotion, like you hear the highs of the voice and the lows, and like I don't know, there's more oomph behind it than there is just like reading a story or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But the downfall with it, I would say this is probably the biggest downfall with podcasts, is you kind of need that time of your day to do it. Like if you're, I don't know, an analyst, let's say like stock analyst or something, like I don't think you could cloud your mind with something in your ears and focus on what you're doing.
Probably not.
Yeah. Like you got to be doing something that you can almost do in your sleep. Like whatever, pulling wrenches, hanging lights, sweeping floors, whatever it is. And then that's where whatever you can enjoy these things. I also actually think that is it's almost the best way to absorb a lot of the nuances of the conversation too, is if you kind of got the monkey mind busy doing something else, and it's almost like your subconscious just hears what's going on. So anyway, that's my rant on it all, dude. We did have some people though that like quite honestly physically reached out and they were like, what the fuck is going on? And we're going like, yeah. I was like, whoa, like everybody calm down. I mean, we did. The worst part about this, and this kind of justifies the, I guess, half-assed nature that we started this whole thing in, is we never did something like the 5-0 Asylum Boys did and build like a secondary Facebook group or something to that effect. So we really don't have the ability to go like, hey, everybody, here's what's going on. So it was just like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, let's do it and see what happens. Not even really thinking that when you go to open up all your pods that you're subscribed to or whatever, and you go, what the fuck? What happened to the role in my phone? Is this a conspiracy theory? Like, what's going on, right?
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully we've ironed out all the wrinkles, but anyway, going forward, beers in the shop.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's when the best things happen.
Yeah. Okay, buddy. Well, now that all the housekeeping's out of the way, what's going on here? You had to send out a little bit of a smoke signal here the other day.
Little bit. So I guess the short and sweet of it is that we ran into some pretty severe logistics, and it delayed the timeline dramatically on our last essentially production batch. So the biggest thing that we want to do is always be 100% transparent with, all of our customers, those that have pre-ordered, followers. We know that there's been a ton of anticipation behind these catback kits. So the last thing we want people to think is that we're disappearing off the map. That is not the case. There was just a lot out of our control, things that, that's it. They were out of our control, things that we really couldn't change. And to mitigate that, we've already kind of fast-tracked new production on all these kits. So we are going to get them built as quickly as humanly possible to get these things out.
So, okay, just to maybe add like a little more context to all this, when was the expected, I guess, they're on the shelf, we're ready to move these things. What was that date? And then we move forward to, I guess, just, was it this week or last week? I guess it'll all depend on when everybody listens to this too. But somewhere in the beginning of June is when you were like, holy shit, we got a problem here.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed to say it, but the original date was mid-April.
Oh, Christ.
And, I just want to say that we are so incredibly fortunate that our customers and the people in this community, I don't think compassionate and understanding really it doesn't justify how great these people are, because we reached out to every single pre-order customer, and they're just fantastic people, and they're willing to wait, and they understand that startups are hard, new brands are hard. A lot of times there are these challenges that are out of your control. It was really kind of pretty incredible, to be quite honest with you.
That's awesome, buddy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know we go on and on all the time, right, about how incredible this community is. But I guess going through something like this, and I can only imagine like the anxiety, like your guts would be in knots. And you're like, right, let's start dialing and hoping that, you know what I mean, they're not hollering on the other end of the line, and I'm doing damage control. But I mean, I think that's human nature to think that that's the way it's going to go. Like, you're expecting the worst.
And to be quite frank, even if they did, they have every right to.
Well, yeah.
I'll be honest. I mean, I wouldn't blame anybody if they were upset, but we're so very lucky that we got the best customers out there. Like, the people in this community are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Well, dude, okay, let's maybe broaden this out a little bit, because I think trying to understand, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, the fact that the team, the whatever, like, you guys are doing something with, well, like we said earlier, these silly old cars that we're all aware of the fact that, like, sure, the community's fairly broad, but, on the grand scheme of the world, like, we're a drop in the bucket, like, hell, a lot of people can't even remember what these cars were or are or any of that stuff, right? So for you guys to go like, hey, I think we could probably still take a crack at this whole exhaust market, which is one of the main reasons that most people fell in love with these cars in the first place, is because of how awesome they sound, right? And then you got to think too, like, you had the deck stacked against you, because you got all the big boys, right, that have already been doing this for the last, well, however many years they've been around, but they've been selling kits for these cars for the last 40 plus years. Mm-hmm. And then whatever, this harebrained idea, let's make a catback kit for the one car that is already, they've pretty much all been swapped, right?
Yep.
Like, it's pretty wild when you think of it. I mean, hell, the other day I did a little funny walk around video of the car I got on the 2-post right now, because the whole kit, like, that thing was stock from the exhaust gaskets back.
Oh, I saw that. Incredible.
Yeah. And I'm going like, holy shit. Other than bubble wrapped cars, like, there can't be many of these left.
No.
So anyway, to that point, if I'm that impressed by a full stock car that's never had an exhaust kit on it, and then here come you guys going like, yeah, I think there's room. I think we can do this. But then you've got the pre-orders. Anyway, I don't even know where the question is and all that, my friend, but it's the fact that you guys are doing this is impressive by itself, let alone on cars that, for all intents and purposes, any banker that you wanted to get a loan from to do this would probably be like, if they knew anything about Fox bodies, they'd be like, worst car to do that for ever. They've all been swapped. What are you thinking?
I'm not really sure how to take that. Gary, you're pretty much telling me, like, Greg, I don't know about your business model here. I don't know. No, I'm busting your chops.
I know, no, but yeah, like it's one of those things. I mean, I've told you this many, many times. When we did that joint pod with the 50 Asylum boys, like, I'm a huge fan, and I love the fact that you guys are doing this. It's like the nuts that it takes to start any kind of business, let alone the one that you're doing, is very, very impressive, right? Like, not everybody does this. And the fact that the community's responded the way that they have, very impressive, very grateful, you know, whatever. But it's just, I don't know, I think even though the response has been kind and everything, I think that, like, we all need to take a little bit of a moment and go, like, would I have the balls to do this? Like, honestly, you know, it's I think it's the most obvious question in all this. And if guys like you don't have the balls to do this, well, guess what? Back to Flowmaster you go.
Yep.
Or, you know, back to mass production bullshit you go. Like, we've all had run-ins with it. We all know how terrible it can be. It's gotten way worse over the years. So if we're not supporting the little guys, well, guess what, guys? Back to whatever, not to shit on one brand, but like Daniel Carpenter, you know, like, everyone has issues with the run channel, everyone, whatever, you know. Hell, I was putting a set of BBK shorties on this coupe, and the first thing that I did was make sure that the flange that goes down to the H-pipe was threaded, because I've bolted headers on those small block Fords before, and the flange wasn't threaded. Oh. And that's a real pain in the ass to thread once you got it all bolted up in the car.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so if we're not supporting guys like you, who the hell are we supporting? All these mass producers? Anyway, sorry, man, I'm ranting now, but
no, you're fine. But I mean, I don't know, to some of the listeners that may have not heard that initial pod on the Asylum, the short and sweet of it is, the idea honestly started over a beer on a deck on a nice summer night. And I had had Fox bodies and Mustangs pretty much up to S197 cars, not a lot of the newer stuff. Yep. And I had been out of it for a bunch of years. And I had actually picked up an 87 Vert. I was excited. It was actually a bone stock car, Gare, with
exhaust and everything.
Exhaust and everything, cats, the whole bit. But she had sat for a long time, needed a lot of maintenance. So after getting it up and running and roadworthy again with the basics, it's like, all right, man, like, now I can get back into all the stuff that I used to do, all the modding, everything else. First thing I wanted to do was throw an exhaust on it. And when I started looking, it seemed like there was even so much less out there than when I had Foxes, 10 years before that. And I was like, man, there really isn't just a lot of options. Like, it seems like this niche group just has the same stuff. It's either you're running a Flowmaster or you're doing something really high-end and unique that's not mass production, but it's going to cost you. So we kind of just brainstormed. We're like, well, we can design this stuff in-house. We can kind of figure out how can we build a package that's going to be high quality using the best materials. It has to sound damn good, right? No one's going to put it on there, and it's got to have that signature pushrod small block Ford sound.
Yep.
And it's got to perform. So, I mean, there was a lot of behind the scenes workings into that, but it really all started with me looking for parts for my personal car and just being like, it's the same stuff.
Right. Interesting. Well, and I mean, even on that note, so I would say that or I think it's safe to say that the sound that 95 plus ish percent of people think and know and kind of remember is the 2-chamber 40 series Flowmaster, right?
Yes, without a doubt.
Now, to the best of my knowledge, that kit in a catback format is not available. Like, I don't think it's available anymore. I think you can buy 2-chamber 40 series, offset in, offset out mufflers. But to the best of my knowledge, Flowmaster now offers, like, I think you
it's
can
American
get
Thunder, and then it's something else. I can't think of the other name.
Yep. And well, what's weird about it too is, depending on where you're ordering it from, this is a whole nother animal. It can be misleading what you're getting, because I think those catbacks, if you get the 44 series, which is the closest thing you can find these days to the old school 40 series, they, like I say, depending on what website you're buying it from, it could be the 2-chamber 44s, it could be the 3-chamber 50 series or whatever it's called. You don't know, because they're now calling it this American Thunder thing or whatever. So anyway, that all to say, like, you can't even really get that old school signature sound. The closest thing to it is the 44 in a catback format. And then, I don't know, you kind of go through the list of everything else, right? But so yeah, like the original, going back to what you're saying about the original sound, it's almost not there anymore, like that, at least in that catback 40 series kit. So yeah, I guess whatever, sitting on the deck having a beer, you go like, well, maybe that's enough for us to go like, let's throw some shit at the wall and see if it sticks.
Why not? That's really that's exactly kind of how it happened. And like we were saying before, the feedback's been incredible. And that's why, the delay in the shipment was such a blow, if anything, just because we want more of these kits out there in people's hands, on people's cars, getting a real sense and idea of how they sound, how they perform. Because I have no doubt in my mind that if you're swapping out from, either stock stuff or traditional Flowmaster stuff, you're going to be very excited about it.
Yeah. Nice, buddy. So have you guys done anything on the performance side of testing this stuff out?
It's funny you should ask. One of the things we've done in-house testing, but one of the things that we wanted to do was get third-party testing done, right? No bias, no nothing, just someone that could really do all the testing that we asked for, flow bench testing, provide some CFM flow. Very hard to find someone that's willing to do it. Okay. But I want to shout out Big Dog Performance. Or, geez, did I just butcher his name? I hope not.
Nope.
Big Dog
Big
Boarding.
Dog Boarding.
Yeah,
right.
Boarding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I said Performance.
No, subconsciously I knew where you were going with this, but yeah, okay. Yeah, because he's always bench testing his own work.
Yes.
Right, okay.
So we got in touch with him. Fantastic guy. Had a really long conversation with him, and it's not even on the website yet. Should I spill the beans? I guess. Here, let me see if I can even do this. Hold on. All right, you know what? Then rather than the long pause, I guess we'll just talk about it.
Okay.
Because I don't know why it's doing this. So, long story short, we sent him both the Street Series and the Race Series. Now, I will caveat this because the only thing that we had on the shelf at that time was 3-inch diameter. Most of the flow testing you're going to see out there from competitors is going to be 2.5. So I do want to caveat that is the difference. However, Gary, if you had to throw a number out there of what you think a traditional Flowmaster 40 series flows based on CFN volume, what would you think?
Oh boy. I was throwing spitballs in math class, but let's go with I'm going to say like 275 to 300.
Oh shit. You were almost on the money. 273.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
273.
Really? Okay.
The 50 series, the bigger body boys, those are at 213. To give you kind of a comparison. Go ahead.
Yeah, that'd be their 3-chamber.
Yep, that's the 3-chamber.
Okay.
And let's see, who's some other big names in here that I put together? Pipes Violator.
Yeah.
Already a lot better at 453.
Okay.
Who else is in here? Let's see.
Now that Pipes Violator, is that, what are we talking there? Is that one of those straight through kind of resonator style? I think they are like tube style, aren't they?
They are, I believe. They have a few different models. No, the Violator. Well, so the Violator is not like it's not like a bullet muffler. That's their full muffler body, but it is like a straight through the body itself. It's just like a perforated pipe that runs through it.
Okay, right. No chambering.
No chambering whatsoever. Very similar to a MagnaFlow.
Okay, gotcha. But MagnaFlow's throwing all kinds of whatever in there, fiberglass and shit.
Yeah, they got the fiberglass packing and everything around it.
Okay.
So like the Violator's at 453, MagnaFlow's at 436. Where was the other one? That was a good one. Your
Does it tell you
Corolla?
what?
Go ahead.
Is the MagnaFlow, that would be their street version, I'm guessing, too?
Yeah, the standard street version, which I think you have that on the Vert, no?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's already really good.
Okay.
This shocked us a lot. And we're going to do even some further testing. But because of the larger body of our street series, it flows 650 CFM.
Holy Christ, I shouldn't have had a drink before that. What?
650. Race series, a little bit smaller package, but compares directly in terms of overall dimensions to like a 40 series. That's at 562.
Holy Christ. So, okay, let me get this straight. The street actually flows better than the race.
Yes. But we really attribute that to the body is overall an inch longer. It's taller. It's an oval body in itself, so there's a lot more room for the exhaust flow.
Okay.
So not terribly surprising, but at the same, like the street series will compare more directly to like a MagnaFlow street series muffler, right?
Okay.
Same overall dimension, oval body, and the race series will compare to like your Flowmaster 40 series.
More of a square kind of boxy deal. Okay.
Like
gotcha.
Traditional dimensions of your average chambered muffler.
Holy shit, dude. So like 200 plus more CFM.
Yes.
Good gracious.
And since the inception of the company, we've had constantly tons of people will reach out to us, phone, email, DMs, whatever. And they'll be like, hey, I'm running a stroker motor, or I'm pushing 600 something horsepower. Are these going to flow enough? Because they think chambered, and they automatically think that it's going to restrict the flow dramatically. And it's just more proof to the pudding right here.
Not the case at all. Okay, so I can't help but think, is there any information out there on what straight pipe would be?
There is. That was actually our control.
Oh, okay.
If I can find it in here.
Because that actually gets into like almost some weird like airflow physics too. I know, like the longer that you want, you know, I guess vibrational energy to move through a tube without giving it an opportunity to like break itself up and reform. I don't know. Fuck, I threw spitballs in science class too, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I want to say that, like, okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'll take another guess. I want to say like straight pipe actually is in a lot of cases worse. Not really?
Throw a number out.
Okay.
Knowing what you know now.
Okay. I am gonna go. I want to go in and around that 450 range.
Garrett, you're really good at this.
Oh, really?
We got to get you on the prices right or something. I don't know.
Go to the casino tonight, hey?
485.
Wow. And not that I would have any ability to like know the difference, like, 2.5 to 3 inch straight pipe numbers.
And that's 2.5, by the way. That's an important part to point out. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Holy shit. So there must be something to what I guess I was trying to like mumble my way through there, in that the physics of how things break up and reform and whatever, it helps.
Well, it's that, and another thing that we confirmed with this testing is that our chamber actually creates a scavenging effect.
Okay.
RPMs and flows. So at that point, the exhaust isn't just pushing itself out of the motor. We're pulling it from the collector.
Jaybers, that's wild.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, this is, I kind of like, I wish I had more time on my hands, because like this is stuff that I would love to understand the inner workings of. This gets into like how they build the fucking pyramids type stuff for me. Like, this is interesting shit, Yeah,
it's really cool. And this is just kind of step one. The next step is that he's offered, we're going to put our mufflers up to the test on an engine dyno on a stroker motor with a bunch of the other competitors for some real world data.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, because that's a whole nother animal too, I guess, right? Like if you're just throwing high capacity wind, for lack of a better term, through these things, this is going to give you one set of data. And for all intents and purposes, I think it's data worth paying attention to. But then you go to the other end of the spectrum and it's like, okay, well, now we've got this, like, I'm guessing it's going to be on a V8, right? But this V8 style, like boop, 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 boop. Like this is, I would think, getting into a whole nother realm of how air travels because of the broken up nature of it versus just like firing compressed air through something.
Well, yeah, the compression ratio of the motor, like all those things are variables. And that's how you're going to get like that true real world test, is to throw it on a motor, meter it, and really figure out what it does under true load conditions.
Right. Dude, this is neat stuff, man. Like,
yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, well, and those numbers are quite honestly staggering. Like that's not even like, we're not going like, we're like 5 CFM more than the competitor here. Like we're not even in the same fucking universe.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's cool, man. Well, shit. And yeah, like, you're saying about guys with these high horsepower deals, and maybe they want to, whatever, knock some of the noise down or whatever, and they got to run a muffler. It's like, well, I just went to all this trouble to make all this power. I definitely don't want my mufflers holding me back. Mm-hmm. Right. And here's, I guess, at least stage one of proof showing that it doesn't.
Yeah. And a while back, we worked pretty closely with the guys at Blue Sky Performance and Restoration.
Yeah.
They're only like about an hour or so from us anyway. And we had an opportunity that they were putting a pair of our race series on. You guys may have seen it. I can't remember the guy's Instagram tag. Beautiful truck. Green square body dually slammed.
Oh, yeah. It was two-tone, I think, right? Green and white or something?
Yes. Green and...
Actually, green?
No, green and white. You're right.
Yeah.
It was green and white. Brand new big block Chevy crate motor. Should have made, or makes in the neighborhood of like 550 to 600 horsepower. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure Jeff and Jesse listen to this, they're going to tell me I'm wrong. Right. But either way, they had the truck in the dyno, and they were working through some tuning and everything else, and it wasn't putting down the numbers originally that they thought that it should. So originally they were like, all right, well, let's completely eliminate the mufflers out of this thing, run it again, and maybe see if that's the problem. That's where we're losing the power. And they did, and there was only a 2 horsepower variance between with and without.
Okay.
Ultimately, it was actually the manifolds. They ended up putting a set of better long tube headers on it to get it really breathing. And I'm pretty sure that truck did put down like 5 something at the tire. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that's neat stuff, man. I mean, I don't know. Like I say, I've always wished I had more hours in a day, more time, whatever. There's all kinds of things I wish that I could learn or research, whatever. I mean, but this is one of them. I think like airflow is a really, really neat topic. And like I say, I just, being the dumb shit that I am, I just kind of cook up this cartoon image in my head of like, okay, it makes sense that maybe when the air breaks up a little bit, because this gets into almost like wind spoiler stuff, right? Like if you add something to break that whatever wind flow, it'll either add lift or downforce, or there's all this stuff. And then when you get into it in like the horsepower game and CFMs and all this stuff, like it's, I guess, kind of similar, but I don't know. This is cool shit, man.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's super exciting. This is the kind of data that we were waiting for. And dude, it was hard. It was really hard to find somebody willing to do this for us, because most guys that kind of have this, flow benches, they're doing cylinder heads. It's nothing for like, a traditional muffler testing. So we were really, really excited to finally get some third-party results, and even more excited when we got the results. So step 2 will definitely be a 2.5-inch setup, the apples to apples comparison. I personally don't think, knowing the way that we design these things, that we're going to see much of a difference even going down to 2.5, maybe slightly, but I have a feeling that it's still going to perform incredibly well. Well,
okay. Obviously, your inlet and outlet size will go down by 0.5 inch, but like, does the overall body of the muffler itself change?
No, not at all.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I guess to your point, I wouldn't expect much difference at all.
Yeah, it still offers multiple paths for the exhaust to flow. It's still going to create that scavenging effect at certain RPMs. So I think it's still going to do very well.
Right. Huh. Well, that'll be neat data too. I mean, hopefully it's not just whatever idle and wide open data, but like it would be neat to see if that scavenging effect is more or less at like, say, cruising speed, or 3,000 plus, like we're getting into the, okay, I want to get through a yellow light kind of area. Mm-hmm. That would be neat data too.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're going to take it through the whole RPM range, and we're going to have flow sensors anywhere by the collector, before and after. Like, we're going to gather every piece of information we possibly can.
Right. Oh, dude, that's super cool stuff.
Yeah, and we'll have it documented too. We'll definitely have videos and other posts and stuff going out once we do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got to. Absolutely. Like, this is the type of stuff people just want to see and eat up. I mean, well, I don't know. At least maybe I'm just speaking selfishly here, but I'd be all over it. I'll be 100 of your views for sure. Yeah, dude. Oh, that's super cool. And then is the offering just 2.5 and 3 inch?
Yes, as of right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, is there any reason to offer anything other than that?
Well, the one thing we've gotten a ton of inquiries for that we are going to build, it's just not at the priority right now. The CapEx are. A ton of guys out there running a 2.5 inch mid pipe flow tubes, but want to run 3 inch tails and don't want to modify them. So we are going to offer a 2.5 inch inlet, 3 inch outlet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because I get it. The 3 inch tailpipes, they look badass. So
yeah,
even if someone just wants the look of them, it's a whole lot easier to bolt them up that way.
True. Yeah. Instead of swedging and pissing around and
yeah, and we've had a couple people ask, like, well, I can expand it, and I'm like, this kind of stainless, it's not going to move on you. I mean, if you're doing it, it's going to be on a hydraulic machine. This is not your traditional, go down to Harbor Freight and get an exhaust expander. It's not going to budge.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, shit, what are you talking here? Like, you're going up a quarter inch everywhere. Like, that's a lot. Like, you're getting into splitting territory here.
Yeah. So definitely not recommended. Or you got to cut off the outlet,
pulling it out,
and then that's a whole lot of modification. So we rather just offer something on the shelf. You can bolt up to universal flow tubes, and you're good to go.
Right. Well, and from a production standpoint, like, not a big difference anyway, because like you say, the body of the muffler doesn't change between the 2.5 and the 3, so it's just a.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's wicked, buddy. Okay, a little bit of an out there question, but any like thoughts or theories of getting into like the diesel muffler game?
Probably not. I think before we do that, we've already discussed internally half-ton trucks, gas.
Okay, yeah.
Just kind of, it's a huge segment. Truck accessories are a huge segment, and most of the guys out there, if you have a car, if you're hauling it, you're most likely hauling it with a half-ton or maybe 3/4 ton. But either way, truck segment would probably be the next thing.
Okay.
But that's after we get SN kits, New Edge, Terminators are in the works. So there's a lot to do before that. Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you've got such a broad category just within like the Mustang or, well, the Fox body world. Because I mean, let's be honest, the Fox body platform is on a lot of different cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, how, like, are you guys going to fart around in that world too? Like the Fox chassis cars?
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a group of Cougar and T-Bird enthusiasts that had kind of reached out to us because it's the same stuff. The biggest thing is they need just longer tailpipes for those bodies.
Right.
You can't run a Fox body kit. Flat out told them, I'm like, listen, if you can get enough interest in it and we could get a car, we could start test fitting some stuff on. Absolutely, we could do that.
Yeah, because, sadly, I'll just speak for all my Cougar, Lincoln, T-Bird lovers out there. Like, they definitely don't get enough attention. Like there's no specific show. There's no, I don't know. I always feel like those poor buggers are always fighting with one hand tied behind their back, right? There's a lot of crossover, but not everything.
No.
God forbid you want to do an interior in one. Like, yeah.
I don't even know.
So, well, that's just it, right? But I mean, that, I guess also, I don't know, maybe there's more of them in existence than I think, but that's always the downfall with this stuff is it's like, well, if people get the sense that there's not many of them out there, then from a business perspective, it doesn't make much sense to play in that world, right? And recreate interiors and stuff. But from your standpoint, you're going like, well, in theory, I'm sure there's going to be more involved in this, but in theory, if we just got to make a longer tailpipe, move the rear hanger, like, it's not much skin off our ass to figure this out.
No. And it's just more so it's just assets and time to be able to get to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we were at Northeast Fox Frenzy last fall, there were a bunch of really nice Cougar cars there.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was actually just out for dinner with a buddy last night, and his mom was with us, and she had a Cougar back in the day, like an 88 or something. And we're talking cars, he and I, and she's chiming in where she can. And anyway, she just kind of bails both feet into the conversation. She says, I found a Cougar the other day. And I'm going like, what year? Like, what do you mean? She goes, I found like my car, essentially, just different color. Found an 88 Cougar, own stock, all original, sitting on a used car lot. And she says, as far as she was concerned, it was mint.
Wow.
Yeah. Like,
that's crazy.
I mean, you never know, right? Like, some old guy or gal moves on in life and the kids are left with the estate and they go, wow, what is this thing? Right? Off to the used car lot.
Yeah. No,
Who knows how that all goes?
There are some still out there. I mean, I believe it was a while back. We had posted on Instagram, but we did have a customer with a fairly built T-Bird that put a set of the race series mufflers on. Sent us a couple whole shot videos.
Oh yeah,
it moved. It moved.
Yeah, they're cool cars for sure. It's just stuff that, well, yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, they just sadly probably went to the crusher.
I know.
Breaks my heart in a lot of respects, but yeah, for the folks that are out there, that'd be awesome, right? Have an offering for them too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. Well, sorry, and I guess going back to that whole diesel question I had for you, I was just thinking about this from the scavenging perspective, which, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's a pretty big focus, if you will, in the diesel world. And I was like, shit, if you guys have stumbled into some like ancient technology that does something that, you didn't even know it was going to do, I don't know, maybe there's an opportunity there.
Maybe. I mean, it's something we definitely have to look into a little bit more, but I don't know a ton about the exhaust segment in the diesel market. So I have to do my own market research on that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know it's a big world, and hell, before the 5-liter half-ton trucks kind of started taking over, really it was, and I mean, it still is, diesels are pretty easy to make go fast and sound pretty cool and everything else, right? So, I mean, it's kind of wild because driving around, if you're paying attention to what's going on beside you and stuff, and you see kids driving 1-ton diesel pickups, and that was never the case when we were young, right? These things were old boys that, hauled a 5th-wheel trailer around or whatever. And nowadays it's kids out hot rodding these things.
I noticed that too. The older, because they're cheap, because they can be problematic, but the older Ford 6.0s.
Yep.
Kids will buy those things left and right because you can get them dirt cheap, and you throw a set of injectors in it and a turbo, and you're making good power.
Yeah. Those 6 liters too, which I think a lot of people did this, but I had nicknamed them the sick liter, SICK, because there were so many problems with them, right? But from what I gather, and I don't spend a lot of time wrapping my head around that world, but that 6 liter, if air quote bulletproofed, is a real deal, it just, I guess the way it came out of the box was not ideal and needed a little extra love, but they sound unreal. They're a wicked sounding motor. It was just, I guess when they first came out, they were tough to keep together. But yeah, I guess that's probably the answer as to why so many kids are running around in them, is they probably get them for $8,000 and then maybe throw another 5 at it, maybe even do it all the motor work themselves, head studs, whatever else, and send it.
Yeah. No. Yeah, they're just so. And just even on that topic, you can let me know what your thoughts are, but been seeing a lot of the younger generation picking up the new edge cars.
Okay, this came up, sadly enough, after we were done recording last week, but talking with Jay, the Real Fox Body Addicts, and he was, I can't even remember how it came up, but somehow we were kind of pressuring each other, gun to your head, new edge or SN. And I know this is a pretty neat topic, right? Well, hell, I'll throw it at you real quick and then I'll go on with my ramble.
Are Cobras allowed? Sure.
Well, okay, let's be fair. Let's keep the termies out of this.
All right. Okay. I've had a bunch of new edges. I like them. However, in my later years in life, I don't know why, but I love the look of an SN Cobra.
Yeah.
So much so that I bought
fog light area. Yeah. They do have a neat look to them for sure.
With the right, like out of the box, the stance, like most of them out of the box, they were all terrible, right?
Yeah.
With the right wheel and tire setup, staggered, push the rear wheels out where they should be, and drop it, they look sick.
True. Yeah. I know there's one that I'm imagining in my head right now. Well, not imagining, just remembering, but there's almost like a Hugger orange SN car that I've seen.
Oh.
I want to say it might have had like a black 5-spoke chrome lip, kind of almost like a weld looking wheel. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it kind of embodied where you're going with that, like real low, big old back end on them. Really good looking car.
Yeah.
Because they do kind of have a real, well, they've got like almost this like aero style build to them already, right? Big in the back, like a fucking door stopper. Big in the back, low in the front. Yeah. So yeah, if you play off of all those nuances that the car already comes with, yeah, you got a pretty sweet package.
I'll add this though. The only reason that's a hard decision is because the New Edge platform has a lot more like really cool specialty cars. Like I've got a soft spot for either a Bullet or a Mach 1.
Yeah.
Like I remember when those Mach 1s came out and I was like, that's the shaker hood. I'm like, that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that's true. I know, like, I like both, but like gun to my head, I tend to lean more towards the New Edge. I think it for me, it's got more of a Fox body feel. No, let me rephrase that. More of a 5.0 feel. Okay, like, because we got to separate the two because they're both in the same class. Or same heritage, I guess you could say. But yeah, I like the more boxy, choppy feel of the New Edge. But it's not to say that I'm against the SN cars. Like I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
So I guess picking up where I left off there, like this topic comes up and Jay is going like, it's not even a question for me. Like I don't even hesitate. I'm all SN95.
Wow.
And yeah, he went on to say that, which I think there's quite a few people out there feeling this right now, that the SN cars are going to have their day in the sun, specifically when it comes to like a bump in price. And that's an interesting topic because, well, context matters when you say that. Like, and I asked him this, which I said to him at the time, like, fuck, I wish we were recording because this is good intel, right? Or good perspective. I'm like, what do you mean when you say that these things are going to have their day in the sun? Like, are we talking box body level? Like, who knows where the roof is on price? Or are we saying like, you know, the $8,000 cars are going to go to 12 or 15 or whatever? And he backed that up by saying, you know, I see more of the modest jump, but a jump nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, he had one and sold it to a buddy and tried to buy it back, couldn't, or whatever, you know, it's that buddy back and forth, fuck you, I'm never selling it back to you kind of thing, right? And but he goes, yeah, like I've got a hankering, man, like I just can't shake it. Like if I can't sleep at night, I'm home in Marketplace looking for an SN95.
Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, they are a very, very cool car. Growing up, I had in my little town there, my buddy had a 94, and I always remember like riding around in that car. It was kind of a flip of the coin. Like, you want to take my car out tonight or your car? And anytime we were in his, I was just like, man, like this is just a step above, you know, compared to what I was used to. Like that interior, everything was fresh and flowy and kind of racy, you know? Neat cars.
They drive very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Very forgiving car. Yeah, and hell, he had done all kinds of shit to his car, like stupid stuff like we all did, lowered it way too fucking low so it hit on everything. And
Yep.
yeah, actually had the double decker with the big like bolt-on sides Celine wing on her too.
Oh man, the bookshelf.
Yep. What else was on that car? It had the fuck, I don't even remember what you call these wheels, but they were a Cobra wheel, and they almost had like, they were kind of a 5-spokey thing, but like the holes were kind of circles, or like the hollow area was a circle, and they had black in it. Was that a 96 Cobra that came with those?
Yes. Now I know what you're talking about. Yes. It was a 96. Yeah.
Okay. Had a set of those. Shit. Now, did he might have masked them all off and painted the black portion yellow too, because his SN95 was yellow. Oh yeah. Yeah. Was going to school for auto body at the time, and took it upon himself to throw purple flames up the hood, because fucking 1997, 98, why wouldn't you, right? Yeah. And then those cars were cool because like all of the like little interior trim bits and pieces all popped off, and everybody scuffed them and painted them body color.
Yeah, you're right. That was the cool thing to do, like the bezel going around the HVAC and the radio.
Yep, totally.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there was some shit about those, and then I remember too, even the odd time driving it or even just riding shotgun with them. You sat so low in that car, and the whole body of it was higher than anything you get out of a five, like a whatever pre 93 93 and pre. Like you go to put your arm out the window, and you're pretty much putting it by your ear.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
So yeah, there's a lot of neat aspects to the SN cars. I don't know. They just, yeah, for whatever reason. But to Jay's point, he thinks they're coming back.
I think they are, and I think the new edges are starting to come back as well.
Yeah. Because
you can still pick up a decently used GT for under 10.
Yeah.
I mean, to have a 5-speed rear-wheel drive V8 for less than 10 grand with, you know, I don't know, under 100,000 miles, like that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, good point. Well, I know like my buddy in town here, Nick, I was showing some pictures on a pod here recently of his car. So it's I think it's a 2001. It's this really neat green color. Saying it this way won't do it much justice, but it's almost like a silvery green. Yeah.
Yes, I know it's the exact car. It's gorgeous.
Tan top. Oh, yeah. Like,
beautiful.
Isn't it wild, that car?
So that thing is super clean.
Yeah, and I mean, well, maybe you could help me out, buddy, because like the green is, I don't want to call it army green because it's not army green, but it's like a really metallic-y green that almost has a bit of a gray hue to it.
Yeah, because like it's not the bullet green is like a forest green, like it's deep.
Yeah,
I know I don't know the color, but yeah, it does. Yeah. It has like the grayish hue.
Yeah, and this is going to sound shitty, but it's almost like a dirty green, but it's a beautiful color, really, really cool color. Anyway, yeah, he puts it on air, and this fucking thing aired out, sits so low that the K member hits his shop floor.
No way.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And I'm going like, where, like, are your tires bulging the tops of the fenders? Like, where, how did this how does it doesn't make sense to your head? Yeah. And so I helped him put a 4-post hoist in at his house. First thing we got to do once it was stood up was pull his car on it. I'm like, hey, air this bitch out. Like, let's see if this thing can pretty much go below its own toes type deal. And it does. Like, the K member rests between the drive-ons, man. Like, it's silly.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild too to look at the geometry. I mean, it's probably not healthy. Like every single component of that front end's like just squinting, going, fuck, I want to break right now. But I mean, dude, yeah, like everything is pointing upwards. It's like wings, but then it's wild because tires are still sitting square. Anyway, it's a really, really neat deal. But yeah, those new edges, man, they'll go low, real low.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever heard of K members touching.
Yeah. Well, then, so we're enamored by the front. We go to the back, and because he goes, quite honestly, other than having this thing on jack stands, this is the first time I've really had the ability to like appreciate it in the air like this. The diffs on the fucking floorboards, it's hitting the but then I'm looking at it, I'm like, shit, Nick, like, not that you want to do this or anything, but essentially if you found a way to kind of give yourself a little bit more room for the pumpkin, you could go even lower. Anyway, dude,
cutting open the floor and just put an extra hump in it.
Yeah, it's like C channel and old C10.
That's what I was gonna say, like the mini trucking guys.
Yeah, man, it's a very, very impressive car, but I don't know, they just really, really look good. And hell, his car, going back to your point of like mileages and stuff, like it's got quite a few miles on it. Like he's way over 100,000. And this car's never given him any grief. Like he actually is doing a little bit of shit to it right now because noticed a coolant leak, which turned into, well, you know what, let's just pull the intake off it and check a few things out, maybe put a water pump on it. And but the whole time I'm going, dude, to have 180, it's something like 186,000 mile V8. Yeah, I'm going like, that's impressive.
Those two valves are incredibly reliable. They really are.
You know, maybe they're not ripping like holes through the time continuum or anything.
No,
but
I mean, they have their limits.
Very impressive.
Super impressive engines, very reliable. And like I said, if you throw, I had a friend of mine that he went all out when they were new. There was a lot more companies out there that would offer like heads and cams on them. I still think there are, but yeah, I mean, he put like the craziest high lift cam you could buy, high flow heads, and like a Vortec on it, and it was for the time it was wild. I think it made like 4 something, high 4s at the tire.
Yep.
Like it was a fun little ripper. And
you
know, it's still a Fox chassis, so it was a handful.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. I know they the 4.6, I mean, other than that Termi motor, right? Which was kind of the reimagined, well, however that story goes, I think Ford and Chevrolet were kind of doing their wiener measuring, and you know, the Corp, I think it wasn't that maybe when the Z06 came back or something, and I think the Termi was the kind of head fake to the.
Did you ever read there's a book, and it's the whole story behind it, Iron Fist Lead Foot with John Coletti.
Okay.
It's the whole story about how when the 99 was such a bust and disappointed so many people, it couldn't compete with the Z28, it couldn't compete with the SS Camaro, and they just went all out on the 03 because they're like, we have to do better. Like, we've disappointed so many people with this car. Like, it underperformed in every single aspect.
Okay, well, there you go. That clears things up, because I know for some reason I thought it was the Z06 or something was factored into that too. But because the Termi's one of those cars. I mean, I think regardless of which generation Mustang it is that you love, I think everybody agrees upon the fact that 03 and 04 were 2 very special years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, buddy. Well, hey, listen, let's chat about the I guess the business aspect of this a little bit, and or maybe like the fluffier side of this. So outside of the story you told us earlier with a couple beers on the deck and a couple bad decisions later, and here we are. What is it, at least inside of you, from your perspective, what is it that makes a guy go, you know what? life's just not busy enough already as is. Let's go and fuck it up even worse.
Well, when you put it that way, it sounds like a really poor decision.
Well, there's a, Tom Schwenzer put my feet to the fire here a few weeks back, and he's like, people want to know, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck goes through your head? Like, do you not have enough on your plate already to, like, with kids and wife and fucking bills and everything else? It's like, yeah, you know what? Like, let's complicate this even more, and let's do something crazy. Like, is it so for me, I've gone out on a bunch of different limbs explaining this, but for me it was like, I cannot potentially end up on my deathbed and not have said that I did this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it's do or die kind of thing. Like, you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's I'll try to find the most concise way to say it, but there's a lot of factors. Like, I've been in the automotive industry my entire life. So I've worked in anything from wrenching to dealerships, private shops, like everything. The two biggest drivers were what you just said, is I want to be able to make an impact, even so small, if I possibly can. So when I do kick the bucket, I can say, man, we tried and we did something really cool.
Right.
Maybe we won't be the flow masters of the world, but, Mustang guys from Fox bodies to New Edges will know about us, and they'll appreciate, what we're trying to do for this very small niche market. And the other really driving factor was really just kind of, I guess, being able to kind of create my own career roadmap in life.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's done it, and most people are maybe still doing it, but there was always this concept, especially, you're talking 50, 60 years ago, that you get a job, you work for this company, they're going to take care of you, you're going to get your pension, you're going to get all these things, right? That doesn't exist anymore. Well, it does, but very seldomly.
Yeah,
like
and definitely not as often, or not as commonplace.
Like, if you're working at an average car dealership, like I worked at a couple of them, for example, and I remember this was like a standard thing at every dealership. Before you had any time off whatsoever, you had to work there for a year. So no time off at all for the first year. Then even after your second year, you get 1 week.
Right.
So you're working anywhere from 5 to 6 days a week. Can't take a vacation for the first year. So you have family, kids, anything else, you're glued to this place. And you're only as good as your last month, or your last week, or whatever it may be. And if they decide to can you spent 60, 70 hours a week at a place, seeing them more than you saw your family, for what? To get by. Yeah. And that kind of resonates with me. I've got 2 really young kids, and I kind of wanted to be, I guess, cheesy to say, the master of my own destiny, and really kind of, if we're going to do something, let's make it impactful and do it on our terms, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, that's wicked, buddy. Yeah, because I know there are a lot of people out there that, I guess, have the hope or the dream or the want, but just, I guess, don't know how to get to the point. And I mean, I know there's a lot of fear in all of this too, right? Because, yeah, I guess the world in so many ways is structured to kind of, well, right down to when we started kindergarten, right? It's like, you ever think about why the bell rings at 8 and rings again at 4? Guess what? That's what you're doing all day long when you're a big boy working too, right? Like, it's, if you look at it from that kind of tinfoil hat aspect, it's like, yeah, we're sort of being bred to be worker bees,
Pretty much.
from a very young age. So I get the fear side of it, because, hell, whether you like it or not, it's all kind of been bred into us. So, yeah, there's that. But I mean, I don't know, buddy. For me, it's hard to imagine not doing some of these things. And maybe it's because I hung on to my vivid imagination that I had as a kid or whatever, but like I can imagine myself laying there saying goodbye to my family. And it's morbid in a lot of respects because you don't want to spend too much time there, but it's not a terrible thing to do every once in a while because it will literally shift what you're doing right now. Because, well, let's be honest, we don't know when that day's coming. Could be tonight, for all we know. And the thing that I'll say is, like, I know even before we knew that this adventure that we're currently on was going to be a reality, I remember saying to my wife quite a few times, I'm like, because her and I talk about this type of stuff all the time. And I said, even if let's say this takes us 5 years or more, and, all we ever do is try. And inside of that 5 years, the old Grim Reaper comes knocking. I'm like, I will still feel as though I did everything in my power to see that thing come to fruition. And that alone is enough for me to go like, yep. I mean, at least I tried, because there's nothing worse than not trying, like, fuck. I mean, go down to the local bar. I mean, and talk to the washed up quarterback. You know what I mean? Like so many people that just go, yeah, like it just didn't work out and here I am and whatever. But is that the way you want your story and life to read? I don't know. For me, I don't at all.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think that my personal belief is that everyone has this inherent want to create, whether that's a brand, a business, or even just, I don't know, hell, if you're a gardener, whatever. Like we all kind of have that that want. And I think that it's important to fulfill that wherever that may be, for myself and for us. Like it's this brand.
Yeah, I know. Like another way that I look at this is if you can imagine your life as a story being written, and you think to yourself, like, if you're, I don't know, find yourself over the next couple months doing nothing but like burning 4 hours a night on the Netflix subscription, it's like, would you want to read those chapters if that's how your book was written? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know, this thought kind of gets way out there, but it's like, I tell my kids this all the time. You almost have to treat yourself as two people. Now, not in the crazy sense, but you kind of need that like drill sergeant style you that can be like, hey, fucko, dump the remote control, get off of Netflix and just go do something, even if it's the smallest thing. Like, hell, if you want to just grab the glass cleaner and clean your windshield that night, just do something where tomorrow when you go to work, you're like, oh shit, right, I cleaned the window last night. Like this, look how beautiful the blue sky is, and it's not covered in bugs. Just something, versus sitting there kind of smoldering in your own misery,
Yeah.
And now listen, I will say too, nothing against anybody putting their feet up and kicking back. We all need some of that.
We all need that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's not what this conversation's about. But if you find yourself kind of sitting there watching Netflix way too often or whatever it is that you're doing and feeling sorry because you're not doing something else, that's the universe trying to shove you off the couch, right? Like, go do something that is going to fulfill you, because we don't know when the stopwatch is going to stop ticking. Right?
I will say that I think that you and I are similar in the respect that that mindset is also a little bit of a blessing and a curse, because when it does come time to throw your feet up, I don't know about you, but I feel guilty.
I do too, buddy. Oh yeah. Just like, fuck, I got to be doing something here, right? Like,
Yeah.
lazy bastard. Because the little voice in my head, the drill sergeant's like, you lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I got that problem.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. You got to be careful with it. But I think for those that maybe have spent so many years trying to quiet that drill sergeant voice, these are the people that I guess I'd probably want to hear that. Because to your point, man, I know actually today the wife was here at the shop with me and working on this 90 coupe, and I'd put a new alternator on it, 130 amp or whatever, beefed it up, and got rid of the smog pump. And anyway, the belt that came off of the car, totally fine belt, it was just kind of sitting on the shelf waiting for me to get all this stuff done and then the belt go back on. Anyway, I go to put the belt back on. I'm like, fucking belt doesn't want to fit. I'm like, it came off of here quite easily. Like, what is going on, right? And anyway, it just, I didn't even think or engage this side of my mind, but I hollered at the wife. I said, hey, get out here on the breaker bar. Like, I need you to hold the tensioner for me, right? Because I'm about to get nasty with this belt. Like, it's going on here. And anyway, like I mentioned at the start of the pod, it's hotter than the hubs of hell here today. And so I'm back there trying to manhandle this belt on there. And the wife's just, I gave her the forewarning too. I said, whatever you do, don't let go of that tensioner, because it's probably, I'm losing fingers or I'm getting a bar in the face. Something bad's going to happen. So she's doing her best to like hold on for dear life. And anyway, I finally get the belt on and she looks at me and she's like, you weren't going to give up, were you? I'm like, it actually didn't even enter my mind. Like, the fucking belt is going on this car. What's actually real funny about it, little insider husband-wife combo, she goes, Jesus Christ, you don't give up very easily, do you? I'm like, hey, you and I are still married, babe. Like, if I did, I mean,
oh man.
Yeah. You got to get your digs in every once in a while.
Oh, you have to.
And that's part of all this too, buddy. Like like starting FP and Castle Customs and all the stuff. Like, you never know how it's going to go. I think the thing, at least for me, is I'm, I guess, fairly comfortable in my capabilities. And what I mean by capabilities is like, I will forego sleep to make things happen. Like, I will forego food, like all the shit that I need to stay alive. Like, that stuff becomes secondary to putting the belt on a fucking car. It's like stuff like that. I've done that enough in my life to go like, yeah, I've proven to myself that I can make things work no matter what, because I'm fully ready and willing to forego all this other stuff. And I guess there's a sense of comfort that comes from that, or a trust, if you will.
Yeah. And I mean, getting off that, this last, the challenges that we faced in the last few months, internally, it obviously puts a lot of weight on the business. In so many different aspects, in terms of just our brand awareness, customer satisfaction, and of course, there's a financial aspect to it as well.
I was just going to say, let's not leave out the financial hit either, right? Like, fuck.
But there was always a part of me that, even through every bit of it, in the back of my mind, it's like, no matter what, it can't die. It just can't. Like, it's not an option. So whatever we got to do to figure it out, whether it's late nights and no sleep and, trying to make trying to make something happen out of nothing.
Yeah.
It had to happen. And just another fun little tidbit, actually, because we went back and forth about like why take the plunge and why do it.
Yeah.
And we talked about that a little bit, but even if you say, okay, I want to do this thing, there's always a lot of reservations around everything. And the fun tidbit for you and even all the listeners. So people ask me all the time, what does FP stand for?
Right.
Nothing. I was dragging my feet on coming up with a brand name.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest thing. It's like, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to call it? And you've been in those sessions, right? Even with talking about the new name for the pod.
100%.
And you can just get lost in circles over and over and over and over again. And then you never move forward. Nothing happens. So at one point, I just pulled the trigger. I said, this is the name. Now I have no choice. There's a piece of paper from the government that says, this is the name.
Right. You know, dude, yeah, that's like, I think maybe there's some people out there that go like, well, geez, that's kind of, you know, deflating to hear. But like, for me, it's the exact opposite. Like, I can't tell you how much I admire the ability of anyone to just go like, fuck it. Like, let's move. Because like, you know what I mean? It's
like, that's deflating. Like, now I feel bad for saying it.
No. I personally don't. But I mean, like, I think there may be someone that would hear that would go like, oh, that's kind of disheartening. Like, I thought there was something more to it. To me, hearing the way that you said it, I'm like, fucking rights. Like, that's the type of thing that I think a lot of people need to hear. Because, like, I don't know. I know that I'm going to get in shit from, I know most guys listen to this podcast, so I don't have to worry too much about saying this, but like, I give my wife shit a lot of the time because, and I know this is a female trait, and for anyone that doesn't know, I also have 3 daughters. I am surrounded by females. So I've got a pretty good handle on, you know, how this species operates. And I'll be damned, dude, if like to give you like a cartoon example, if the 4 of them got a flat tire, they would sit there on the side of the road trying to figure out where they picked up the nail from. Not one of them would just go, hey, where's the fucking tire iron?
Yeah.
Right?
Can we get this done?
Who gives a shit about the nail? Right? It's done. That's in the rear view. Let's go. And I mean, that's in a lot of ways what makes the female species special too, because they care about the details of things like that, right? Whereas guys are like, fuck it, just sharpen your horns, let's go, you know?
Well, and to give you more context to it, excuse me, at that point, the concept and the idea had been in the making for a while.
Right.
And it's like, is this going to be the bottleneck that's going to prevent this from happening? Like, is it going to go on another 6, 8, 10 months until we can get rolling because of something ultimately simplistic, right? Like, if you start thinking about some of the major brands that are out there, you know, the brand names don't necessarily always have a lot of weight or meaning behind them. They get their weight or meaning from their presence in the market after they prove to their consumer base how great they are in whatever aspect that is.
Yep. Yeah. Good point, man. Yeah, that is a very good point. But, you know, there's a lot of that whole like paralysis by analysis. I haven't had anyone do this, like reach out to me in this regard in a while, but I have had people over the years reach out and say, hey, you know, I'm really interested in starting a YouTube channel. Any advice you might have would be, you know, super awesome and welcomed. And my number one thing that I used to say was, I'm like, don't sit around and go like, okay, I got to buy that particular GoPro and I need that editing software. And I got like, you will never make a video. Mm-hmm. It's like, just whatever even if you got a fucking StarTAC flip phone, like just get out there, record yourself, and do it, because momentum is key. Like it's not, I think everybody kind of sits around waiting for that, like the skies to open and everything to be perfect. It's like, it never will, ever. And if you, again, God forbid, die while you're getting ready to be ready, you're done. It never happens.
Yep.
So no, man, I think that's a wicked little piece of the story. It's just like, and great advice for so many. Don't sit around stressing about this shit. Just pick something and go.
Make it happen.
Yeah. And hell, well, this is more in reference to like the story I told earlier about the name change of the pod, but like, it's like, worry about it down the road,
It's true.
Like, maybe
you guys used the other name for how long?
Shit, man. Like, I think we got like 5 seasons now, but I mean, I think that translates into, I don't know, it's quite a while, I guess, 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It made sense at the time. And that's the thing. Like, nothing, the only thing definitive is death, really. Like, I don't know, you can pretty much recover from anything. And so if you got to shimmy and you got to pivot down the road, you do, or you don't. And it just turns into a great story that factors its way into the grander scheme of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's a dangerous one. Like, if you don't have momentum, and we all know this too, because like, the more you sit around and stew on anything, right? Like, hell, if you want to just sit around and stew on, I don't know, something stupid you said at work that day, like, that will affect you in ways that move into like the future weeks of your life. It's a very, very dangerous mind game. So yeah, being quick, decisive, momentum is key. I tell my kids this all the time. I'm like, you're going to have a lot of things in life where you're sitting in the middle of what could be 4 options for roads out of there, could be 8, could be 20. You don't know. And I said, you're not always going to know which road to take. However, if you choose to not take any road, you'll never move. Like, you're stuck, you're stagnant, you're toast. And stagnant's not good.
No. It's the worst place to be.
Oh, buddy. Yeah. But it's like, okay, let's use another cartoon example. Let's say you're way out in the middle of the bush and a bear decides that you look like dinner. Like, are you going to sit there and go, should I go east or should I go west? No. Like, but the reason I say that is that's kind of the style of thinking you need. Like, you need that bear on your ass. And it's just like, yep, that's the name. Moving, gone.
Yeah. Moving now on to the next thing. Let's figure out the next thing. What's it now?
100%, man. But yeah, I said this in my pod with Tom. It's definitely worth saying again. Like, I wish that more people, especially if the ones listening that are thinking about doing their own thing or whatever, I wish for each and every one of them that they could have a taste of what it feels like to do their own thing, be their own boss, or whatever that looks like. And shit, man, that could be, it definitely doesn't have to be quit your job tomorrow.
No.
It could be, you know what, I'm going to sell a children's book on Etsy, right? Maybe one person buys it. I'll tell you what, that one and only person that may ever buy that book, that'll be one of the most gratifying moments of your life when you go like, holy shit, I did that.
Nothing, and I'm sure, especially now in your position, like, probably one of the joyous things is when you get to hand a customer their keys back and they're like, oh my God, it's perfect. Everything that I wanted, the vision's come true. And like, that's how I feel. Like, we attended our first Foxtoberfest last year.
Yeah.
And we got super lucky, had some great cars in our booth and so much interaction. And there's nothing better than people coming up and being like, I'm so happy that, you know, I took a chance on the little guy because I couldn't be happier with how it sounds, how it performs, the quality, every single aspect of it. And you give yourself a little pat on the back and being like, this is the reason why we do this. This is right here.
Oh, brother, that melts my heart, honestly. Well, and now here's maybe another interesting thought experiment is, imagine now that you've experienced that and felt that, imagine what your life could be like or would be like if you never decided to do this. Like, you would not have that experience. And
Yeah.
it sounds to me that that's an experience that you'll remember till the day you die.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like, that's worth spending some thinking time on, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good sign that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's...
And like, you need those reminders, though, too. Because let's not sugarcoat this. This shit is hard. What you're doing, what I'm doing, any business owner, period. I mean, it's something that is on your mind constantly. You know, am I doing enough? Are we reaching out to our customers? Where is our marketing? What are we doing next? There's a lot. So when you do have those moments, it kind of gives you that gratification and that extra drive to be like, no, we're going in the right direction here.
Yeah. Well, that, and like, when you come back from that show, well, hell, you can answer that as a question. Like, how jammed up and like ready to knock down brick walls are you when you come home from a show like that?
I was so fired up. I left that show and packed up by like, I don't know, 5 o'clock. And so, you know, Charlotte to Jersey, it was like a 10-something hour drive. I drove straight through the night.
No Red Bull, no Monster.
Oh no, there were some of those, but we still did it.
Yeah,
I was keyed up. I couldn't. That was without a doubt. You know, hats off to Jen there. That was one of the best shows I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, it is a cool experience. That's the thing, man. It's just, I don't know. I guess for anyone still wondering if they should or would or could do something like this, it's like, don't, if you think you want to, do not miss the opportunity to have moments like that in your life, because those, back to my book example, are special chapters. Like, that's where things are bold and underlined. Like, these are monumental moments, you know?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I really honestly can't imagine it any other way. But like I say, back to my whatever stupid example of like a kid's book for sale on Etsy, like, just something, you know, like, to prove to yourself. And actually, even before I say that, like, every single person, I think, has at least mini monumental wins where they've proven to themselves that they can do impressive things. Mm-hmm. Whether that's, I don't know, graduating high school, or I don't know, getting out of bed and going to work every day. Like, they can be as big or as small as you want them to be. But reflecting upon those moments, I think, is what sort of jams you up and helps build that trust in yourself, and puts the fire in your guts to be like, you know what, I could do this, right?
You need that, and it's important. Nobody wants to fail, right? And a lot of people will forego taking that risk because they have the what if.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you'll agree with me, but I was always had the mindset of like, God forbid if it doesn't work, figure it out.
Yeah.
And whether this doesn't work, there's going to be another thing after it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there has to be that, I guess you would call like an internal resilience to kind of take that risk and always know that in certain scenarios, if it does not pan out, there's always something else. It's not over. Life's not over.
Nope.
You'll get through it and you can move
Yeah.
on to the next thing.
Yeah. I know it's kind of like that that cheesy cliche, self-motivation quote or whatever, but like fail fast. Right.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes back to that whole momentum thing. It's just like move quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta keep moving. And if it fails, I mean, I know this sounds cheesy to someone that is maybe on the fence or is unsure about doing something like this, but like, the old Thomas Edison adage of like, hey, Thomas, what was it like when you failed making the light bulb 10,000 times, or, you made it on the 10,000th time? He says, I didn't fail. I just figured out 999 ways not to make a light bulb.
Yeah. You're right.
It's that type of mentality. And I don't know. I really failing just, I guess it's all in how you look at it or which angle it is that you look at it.
I guess maybe failing is the wrong word, because it really all is, same thing as you were just saying. They're learning experiences, right? I mean, I've been immersed in a lot of different aspects of just the automotive industry as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Repair shops, back end, parts. So I had a very good overall view of, how to build this business. But once you get into it, there's a lot of other things that may shock you and be like, oh, all right, didn't
see that coming.
And that's when, that's when you need to adapt, and that's when you need to educate yourself. And it's all towards that one common goal, but you end up kind of just, I'm really struggling to find the words here. Just really adapting to the point where you're just consistently learning and improving and challenging yourself to, when you look back on it, to see what you've achieved during that time frame of the oh shit moment, to figure it out. You're like, wow, I've really accomplished quite a bit. I went into this not knowing anything about X, and now I could argue that I'm an expert in X.
Right.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. School of hard knocks. Well, I know that there's, okay, the demographic that listens to this pod, at least the lion's share of people, are kind of 30, 40, 50, 60, let's say, right? That kind of 40-year span of things. And I think it's probably somewhere in and around your late 30s, definitely into your 40s. I'm sure it becomes even more vivid in your 50s and 60s, because I'm not there yet, so I can't say for sure, but I'm sure it does. But the ability to look back on things, maybe it's hitting that sort of midpoint in life, because let's be honest, like, we've played the front nine. We're easily crowding hole 10 and 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm there with you.
So, and it gives you that ability to look back and that perspective on things where you go like, man, I remember, like such and such a time, and that felt like such a disaster, but realistically, was it? And or did it make my life any worse? And I bet you the answer is no. It probably had an outcome where you're like, actually, I'm pretty glad that happened.
Yeah.
But at the time, when you're like in the trenches, in the shit, you're like, this is devastating. This is monumental. I don't know how I'm going to recover from this. Right?
Yep.
Spending some time thinking all that through and reminding yourself that like nothing burnt to the ground, and reminding yourself as well of like, hey, I'm actually fairly capable, like I can figure shit out. Or I got a buddy that I can call that he can maybe help me figure it out or whatever, you know? I don't know. I think there's maybe just too much self-doubt and fear.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And that's very, very paralyzing shit, you know? I don't know. Like, yeah, we all don't know everything, you know? And we're typically, if you're a humble enough person, we're all the first ones to admit it. Like, fuck, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be here first thing in the morning. I'll figure it out.
Yep.
Like, no matter what, I guarantee you that. So if that's enough for you, great. There was a line, dude. I got to try to remember this because it was a real banger of a line in, there was a show. It might've been a Netflix show. I know Kevin Spacey was in it, and, he was a governor or something. And it was all about the story of him and all his kind of greasy ways to make it to the president or something.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the
show. But
okay. And his wife, this blonde gal, she was in some type of a meeting, and whatever it was for, she didn't really have the background that would prove to the person that she's trying to get the deal done with that she had any experience doing this. And she had this line. She says, whatever, oh, fuck. And as I go to say it, I start forgetting it. It was something to the effect of, whatever I lack in experience, I'll make up for in effort.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that was it. I might have butchered it a little bit, but anyway, that always, it gives me goosebumps to even say it again. It's like, man, like, that's it. Like, shit. Nobody knows what they're doing 3/4 or more of the time. But if you're willing to figure it out and put the time in, like, you'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. Just be kind to yourself and don't fucking give up. At whatever cost, don't give up. Because you don't want to be on your deathbed regretting this shit.
No, sir.
I
couldn't have said it better. That's
yeah. No, buddy, I'm super proud of you guys. I know a lot of people are. This is a very, very special thing that you're doing. And, actually, I've been meaning to bring this up. We keep touching on it. So that tells me it's definitely something worth saying. To think that I don't want to say, or, jinx you, curse you, whatever, but like one day when you're long gone, to think that, the next it'll be probably 3 or 4 generations from us, will be tearing these cars apart and be like, FP performance, no shit.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I know you're a humble guy and whatever. It's definitely not the reason you're doing this, but like, how neat is it to think that even in the early stages that, you're in the growth stages and the infancy stages of this whole thing, to think that fuck, if you stop tomorrow, that still can happen. Like, your shit's on cars.
It's crazy. I mean,
and the longer you do it, yeah, right? Like, the longer you do it, the more intense that could be.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be kids, well, who knows what they'll be doing 100 years from now, but like, yeah, looking at your stuff, especially the way it's built, that shit'll last through a nuclear disaster.
The mufflers and Twinkies, that's what we'll get.
Yeah. Yeah, Little Debbie's Christmas cakes too. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like, that's pretty neat to think about,
No, that's like an incredible thought. To be quite honest, I don't think that's never come to mind. So I thank you for bringing that up, because that's pretty amazing. That's you could call that it's leaving your mark, right?
Yeah, it is, man. Well, because even we sit here in our generation, and let's say it's I don't know, in some cases 20, 30, maybe crowding 40 years beyond like some of these companies that have come and gone. And we find these things. Hell, we post about them on social media, and who knows if the old guy or gal that started it's even around to appreciate the things that we're saying about this, right? And now it's become even more rare or whatever it is. Like, that's pretty neat when you think about it.
It really is. I mean, it's been happening for our generation when it comes to some of the stuff in the 60s and 70s muscle cars, right? And
absolutely
a barn find, and it's got a set of wheels on it that haven't been around in the last 60 years, but they were the thing to have at that time. That's, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, the Ford Motorsport parts, I mean, that's always a big one.
Yeah.
Fairly common, right? But I often wonder myself, like, I wonder if some of the old engineers are maybe still rocking away on their front porches, and hopefully someone of the younger generations going by going like, you see how much this 2.5-inch H-pipe's selling for?
Yeah. I always think about that too with the Cobra motors, because they always had the builder stamp and sign on the valve cover. And it's like every time I see one, I'm like, man, is this guy still around? Like, how cool is that his signature is floating around on the street still?
Yeah, that's actually a really cool one, because, it's one thing for us to be whatever, Googling over like Ford parts, because Ford being the mammoth they are or whatever, right? But within Ford, right, you got these, like you say, the engine builder.
Yeah.
Took out the little buzz pen and signed the valve cover, right? Like,
right?
The tag
how
on
cool
it.
Is that?
Oh shit, yeah. I wonder, that would be such a neat conversation to ask them, like, if they ever thought about, like, kind of what I pitched at you when they were signing those tags.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one day some kid's gonna go like, who is John Smith or whatever, right? And I wonder what he was thinking at the time, and wonder if he made it on a Monday, wonder if he made it on a Friday. Maybe this thing's gonna be a piece of shit. I don't know.
Who knows? I occasionally see like guys on like SVT forums that are like, hey, is so-and-so still around? Here's the tag.
Right. Yeah, well, and because our generation has experienced so much, I mean, hell, we caught the tail end of 8-tracks. We've been through records, tapes, CDs, MP3. Fuck, we've seen it all, right? Like, it breaks my heart a little bit that we buzzed through so many changes so fast, because, like that previous generation to us, let's call it like our grandparents' generation, they probably couldn't keep up in a lot of respects to all these changes that were happening. And because we've become such online creatures, it's sad to say that probably a lot of these old folks that are still kicking around that did have some sort of impact on the shit we're talking about right now, they probably don't even know we're talking about it.
I know.
Sadly.
Think about, yeah.
And they do come from a different generation too, where, it was just whatever. It was like you said earlier about the union, just get a job, work every day, do your overtime when you can, retire comfortably, and ride off into the sunset. So I don't know, maybe they wouldn't be as tickled as we think they would, knowing that we're talking about this stuff now. But
yeah,
I think
maybe not. I think you're right. And some may be like, it was a job.
Yeah. That's kind of like that old saying, like, never meet your heroes.
Right. Yeah.
That would break my heart. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going over to Jim Smith's house, and this is the guy that signed my motor or whatever. And you show up and he's like, wow, that piece of shit. Like, whatever.
Those things were junk.
Yeah. Like, oh, fuck. I thought this was going to be a cool convo.
I dropped the bottle cap in that oil pan that day.
Yeah. Totally, man. Yeah. But no, it's cool, buddy. Like I say, even if you hang her up tomorrow, to think that there's however many cars out there running around with that stuff on it, that's pretty cool, buddy. I think is no matter when or if or whatever this thing changes or whatever, you'll always have that. You know what I mean? And how wicked is that?
That is a really, really cool feeling. But to caveat that, we're sticking around. So
fucking right. Yeah. And getting them orders out as soon as possible.
Yes. Trust me. Everybody's been so damn patient, and please be patient with us. There's a lot of things cooking, and just kind of a little look behind the curtain. We get people asking us all the time, tons of outreach, New Edge, SN, 3-inch Fox kits. The R&D process takes a long time. Yeah. So it's not as simplistic as some people think. So we want these out in the market just as much as you do. We truly do. If I could have these things here tomorrow, I would. It's just, we want to make sure it's right. I'd rather take the time, make sure it's right, make sure people are going to be happy with it, than rush something and just have it be subpar. That's not what we're here to do.
Yeah. And well, not to kick the lid off this can of worms again, but I can't help but think that we are somewhat contradicting ourselves in the whole conversation we've had, where it's like, fuck it, just send it, do it.
All right, a little bit, but
no. I just say that for comedic effect because I can't.
Well, then I'll tell you what, on your kit, what I'll do is I'll pretty much just mail you some mufflers and a bunch of pipes, and you can tell me how it goes.
JB Weld. Yeah.
There's some JB Weld in there.
Totally. No, buddy. I say that because I can, as tough as I talk about just move, whatever. I mean, yeah, just the couple stupid little things I've invented and 3D print and stuff, right? I am embarrassed to tell you how many hours. Fuck, it's not even hours. It's days, weeks. You got to measure it in months, because we've all had that shitty product, right? Where, I mean, hell, you even see this out of the big manufacturers, right? It's like, why did you guys change the motor so fast? The old one was fine. This new one's shit. Or the transmission is garbage, whatever, right? So I get it, buddy, fully. And like you say, the behind the scenes is just mind-boggling, right? It's the duck analogy. Calm on the surface, paddle like hell underwater.
Exactly. And there's the balance of, like we said before, analysis by paralysis, and just doing things tactfully, right?
Yeah.
Keep the momentum going, but you are doing it in a way that, to you is logical and makes the most sense to build the best product.
Well, shit, dude. And I don't know if you've done this or not, but just based on the story that you've told everyone tonight, going back to that beer on the porch when you decided you were going to do this. And it's like, well, I guess in a roundabout way, one of the core values that we just stumbled into by default was, I can't really think of a kit that I want to put on my own car that I haven't had previous shitty experience with, or I know a buddy that did, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's, I'm sure, one of the reasons, whether you know it or not, why it does take so much time to do all this R&D, because you'd be damned if, client number 4,000 is laying on his driveway going, this fucking thing doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the time that we had, because if you've been following along since the get-go, I mean, obviously the kits are new. The time that we had just in the mufflers themselves was way before we released anything. There were let's just say there were revisions.
Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be. And I mean, you can't predict everything, right? You need real world examples. You need whatever, high horsepower. You need stock motors. You need everything. Like I mean, as simple as you think exhaust is, it ain't.
Mm-hmm. No. And I mean, we've had a lot of good partnerships with a lot of guys that have put some serious miles in the stuff, and thank God that they did, because we found some weak points that we were able to fix.
Yeah.
Actually, you spoke to him, our good buddy Fox Buddy Gordo.
Yeah.
He's one of our good torture testers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Gordo likes to make her eat.
Yeah, and he's great. He's been a big advocate and like an ambassador for the brand since day one. He took a chance on us, and he's a phenomenal guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Good soul. Yeah. Super good fella.
Yeah, he feeds that car the onions. Let's just say that.
Yeah. With the kids in it to boot.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. Anyway, buddy, I know it's late for you and you got a big day ahead of you tomorrow. So, thanks so much for doing this, dude. I love what you're doing. I'll say that till the day I die. And I hope you keep doing it till the day you die. And I think everybody listening feels the exact same way as I do. So,
well, I hope so. And thank you again so much for just having me. It's always an absolute pleasure. And, this has been great conversation. And, we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to get everybody what you want. We're working day and night to do it.
Yep. Just be patient, right? And well, anyway, hopefully this story, I guess, sheds a little bit of light, a little deeper light than, one can shed in like you did, your post or whatever, and just round things out a little bit, give people a broader perspective.
Yeah, and I think it was, thanks for giving me the platform to do so, because it's important. We want to be completely transparent.
Yep. Yeah. In a world that isn't very transparent these days.
Yeah.
On that note. All right. Thanks for listening, folks. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.